Yo, long time no see. It's been a minute, huh? All right, so today's video is gonna be a little bit different. I do apologize for not vlogging for like an entire week straight. I'm just an unmotivated piece of. But today, instead of doing a vlog, I'm gonna be doing a little bit of art with you guys. I'm making Christmas ornaments for my art shop, and I was going to sit down and do that and then record a YouTube video afterwards, but I figured let's make some ornaments together. Ornaments. I have a whole list of things that I want to make for my Christmas ornament collection, and with you guys, I think I want to make the bag of coal, a sugar cookie, and maybe the elf shoes. I think I want to do the elf shoes. I'm definitely gonna do the bag of coal. I want to do that one first. That one's so exciting. So we're gonna start with that, baby. I already warmed up a decent sized ball of polymer clay. I have a box over here if I need more. I'm gonna start with a good size, like however the size that I want the bag to be, I'm gonna start with that size chunk of clay. Get it all warmed up. These are, here's one example. This one's actually finished. It just needs to get glazed. This is one example of the ornaments that I will be making. They have little hooks on the top of them ready to go. Well, little loops for the hooks. Little candy canes. Okay, so now that I have a good sized ball of clay and it's all even, no cracks or anything, that's when I start shaping and molding. So what you can do is look at a reference picture of a bag and go from there, or you can imagine one. Literally, it's a bag, so just make it look like a lumpy ball of clay. That's it, just a lumpy ball of clay. Like literally it could look like this. And then you just put a hole in the top and that's it. You can do more detail like I'm planning on, but like that could be a bag, you know, if you wanted to. So whatever shape you like. I'll show you mine once I get it all finished. To make sure that you have, if you want to have a flat bottom so your bag can like sit up. If you don't want it to be an ornament and you want it to be like a little knickknack or something, you can, you know, like tap it a little bit and it'll flatten the bottom for you so it'll stand up if you don't want it to be rounded. Okay, so this is like a pretty good shape. It's probably gonna get moved around a little bit once I make like the cinches and the hole in the top, and you'll see in a second. These are all my little tools. So if you don't have anything like this, which this was super cheap, it was a kit off of Amazon. If you want to, you can go ahead and go there and buy something cheap off Amazon, or you can literally use anything for this next step. Like if you have a pencil or a pen or a paintbrush, literally just poke a hole and make it big. I got a piece of paint in there. But yeah, make a nice hole because that's where your coal's gonna go. Shape, 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 shape. I'm gonna thin out the top a little bit because I wanna make one of those, like a sack of coal. So like, you know how they have the strings that tie it around like that? And it ends up like that and it's all like tied. I kinda wanna make that, so I guess I ruined the next step, but all I did was I just took my 4 fingers and pinched to make the waviness, and then I'm gonna smooth out a little bit so it doesn't look like fingerprints, you know, but looks like a cloth bag. Once you have your bag done, you can set it aside. Actually, I would make like a little, so it can stand up. It doesn't have to be like fully flat, but it would be easier if it could stand up. So you can, what I'm gonna do now is I'm literally gonna make tiny little pieces of coal, put them in there. Actually, those are too big. try to make them as proportionate as you can with the bag, you know, like you don't want them to look like grains of sand, but you also don't want them to look like rocks, you know, giant boulders. So kind of try to find a happy medium. Of course, all coal isn't the same size or shape, so again, they don't have to be perfect. Just make little itty bitty bowls and throw them in there. I'm fixing the shape of the top of mine because it kind of looks like a vagina. Okay, I'm gonna add some more coal because I changed the shape of the top, so there's more room now. And a trick is that I do is I will not worry about the shape really of the ones that I'm putting at the bottom, because you're gonna put more on top of each other. So I put like just really wonky or really round ones at the bottom, and not worry about making them like square and look too much like coal, because I will make sure that the ones that are sitting on top are what they're supposed to look like, you know? So there's the top of mine. Again, I fixed it. At the end, I'm gonna add a little like twine string, so don't worry about it like looking a little goofy. If you want, right now, you can add a polymer string, but I like doing like mixed media and adding different textures and stuff in my projects, so I'm gonna actually use twine for this at the end. After you have your coal in the top, that's pretty much it. Everything else, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint on the front of it and put like bag of coal, blah, blah, this and that. If you want, you can carve in it so you have like depth in the bag, or like you can make it look like stitching. There's so many different things that you can do to design the bag, but what I'm gonna do is I'm going to paint it afterwards. So after this, you're pretty much done. The only thing that you need to do is, if you're making it an ornament, I also got these from Amazon, very, very cheap, for like, I think 1,000 of them, 2,000, I don't remember. But they're just these little hooks with loops. You can either make keychains. Sorry, I had to clear some space on my memory card. I didn't know that it was full. But back to this. You just take one of these little guys and put it in there. You're ready to go. Boom. Bag of coal. Check. Next, we're gonna do the sugar cookie. So I love making foods out of my polymer clay. So this one I literally just thought about before recording, and I was like, yes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm basically gonna act like this is dough, just like you're making a sugar cookie. Roll it out. I have some cookie cutters that I'm gonna use. If you don't have any, just make some circles. Use a cup and make like a circle, or you can literally if you have anything around your house that's hollow, use it as a cookie cutter. I always make my pieces on the baking sheet because sometimes it sticks if I try to get it off. You can use parchment paper. I don't have any, so when I try to get it off, it will ruin the shape and stuff of the clay. So usually I'll just leave it, bake it, and then it'll come right off. That's why I use my cookie sheet always to create and bake with. Only because that's what I found is easiest for me. So because it's a sugar cookie, and you know how usually sugar cookies rise when you bake them, I want this to be thicker than sugar cookie dough that you usually roll out. So don't roll it out like dough, thin-wise. Make it a little bit thicker than you would. Make it how the cookie would look after being baked. Now I think I have the thickness. I'm gonna go ahead and take my big star, which actually isn't that big. Let's go ahead and make let's make 5 of these little sugar cookies. So thickness on that one, pretty good, pretty good. 2, 3, 4. This one's I'm gonna make this one a set on my website because again, they're so small and they're super easy to make. So I'm gonna make 5 little sugar cookies, and if you wanna buy them, you'll buy all 5 of them. So after cutting them out, you know how sugar cookies, they're rounded, they're not perfect, they're sugar cookies. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take those edges and pat them down. Not perfect. Those are done. Boom, 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 boom. Make sure they're flat too, because sometimes they'll like, the stars, especially because they have so many little arms, it goes like, whoop. Sugar cookies. Yes. Sorry. All right. What was the last one? The elf shoes. Those ones are probably gonna be the hardest. Let me I'm gonna look up a picture. I need a picture for this one. Should we do something basic? This. It's always how I try to make even pieces. I make a ball and then just cut it in half. I'm gonna do one shoe at a time. I was thinking I was gonna do, I might do shoe, and then put them together and bake them together and maybe glue them together. But I'm also now thinking that I might do 2 ornaments. So I just made a ball, and I'm kind of gonna start by making like a cone for this. Not really a cone, kind of leave the ball and just kind of stretch the front of it out. Don't touch this, just this. And try to make it like the front of the shoe. You know what I'm saying? Do not touch this though, because we need the top part to make the ankle part. See, this is a shoe. I'm gonna pinch like up here. Sorry, I don't know if you saw that or not. Pinch like right here. And then what I'll do is I'll squeeze and pinch and squeeze and pinch until I get like a desired shoe shape, and then I'll smooth it out. I mess it up and then I make it pretty. But you gotta mess it up to get the shape. But you gotta be careful because you don't wanna push the clay in the wrong direction, because then you're screwed. I don't know. Clay's fun. So this is what I have so far. Again, not perfect whatsoever, but now I'm gonna focus on getting the final shape. Okay, so I found out that the best way for me to get a good shape and proportion was setting it down and making it seem like the foot was planted on the floor. So I knew the angle to get the ankle up and how far to put the toe up and how flat and angled I need to make the top when looking at it from the aerial view, etc., etc. And then it also gives you the flat bottom. So this is the final shape that I have. And what I'm gonna do is, again, use whatever you have. It could be a pen, a paintbrush, a pencil, anything. I usually use this. I didn't show you this in the beginning because I wanted to use a paintbrush with you guys or something easy and simple. This is just like a tapered wooden dowel that I use to make big holes in things. It makes it a lot easier. So all I'll do is just poke it in and do exactly what I did with the paintbrush, but this is just a lot more efficient because it's tapered. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one off camera really quick, and then we will go ahead and put all of our ornaments in the oven. Quick tip while I'm making this one, I just realized because I put this one in front so I can eyeball it and make sure that I'm making it the exact same shape, but also I just now thought about, you need to make sure that you make it the exact same size, especially if you're going to be putting them together, you know, unless you want an elf that has 1 foot bigger than the other. That is totally normal and that's totally fine, but I'm going to make mine the same size. So just a reminder, if you want yours the same size, put them up next to each other and keep checking as you're forming. Okay, I made the decision of putting them together. This is gonna be the ornament. They are not glued together or anything right now. I am going to bake them like this, and then when they're done baking, I'm going to glue them together so they don't fall apart with a good strong glue. We have our 5 sugar cookies, our elf shoes, and our bag of coal. Oh, I need to put the thingy on the elf shoes. Oh, and all of the, duh. Now we can go bake them. It's 275 degrees for only 12 minutes. Make sure it's preheated and everything like that. Then put them in and then set the timer for 12 minutes. See you in 12 minutes. While those are baking, I'm gonna go ahead and get my paints out. Okay, they are done. I'm going to go ahead and let them cool down because they're still kind of hot. And then go ahead and start painting. Okay, as you guys can see, my table is literally my paint palette. So I scooted my clay over. And then what I'm gonna start with is the sugar cookies because I feel there's the most layering with paint on these. One second. It's called Golden Brown from Craftsmart. I usually use Craftsmart paints. I know there's plenty of other brands out there that work really, really well. And I know there's plenty of tricks out there to make inexpensive paint work better. So that's always an option too, if anybody wants to go ahead and look into that. So the brown I was using is definitely a little too dark. I'm gonna mix in some white. That is not sugar cookie brown. That is like the edge color that's the color that I should be using for the edges to make it look a little burnt. That's way too dark for sugar cookie. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hold up. I'm gonna show you the difference. See how much lighter that is? Yeah. That's what we want. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but all of my stars are painted light brown. And while those dry, I'm going to go ahead and move on to painting the coal in the top. I want to do that first because it's going to be messy, and whenever I do the bag, I'm just going to paint over whatever I accidentally got outside of the lines. I take like this one of the smallest brushes that I have. You can't see the black paint, and I literally just glob it on there. One, it's going to help all of those little coal pieces stick together. And two, it doesn't need to look perfect. And three, you're going to end up, oh, I just dropped one, I think. You're gonna end up going back in and cleaning up all of those edges with brown anyways. So go at it, sis. Have fun. And since you are glopping it on, that's why I want to do this first, because it's gonna take a little bit to dry. I got really messy. I even got it all the way over there. So we're gonna go ahead, set that aside just like we did with the sugar cookies, let it dry. You can ultimately start on the bag because you can start painting down here, not worry about up here for now. Let that dry, then go back to working on the top. Let that dry, work on the bottom. You can do that also. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a base coat on these guys because the only thing that I'm gonna do with these, like I said, is just paint them gold. So maybe put like a little twine on them or something at the end. Just know that with like metallic paints and stuff like that, they're very, very less pigmented than acrylics and oils and etc. So you're gonna need to do multiple layers. You're gonna need patience for them. Just a heads up. I personally don't use them for that reason. You have to use so much of the product just to get the color that you desire, and it's honestly just a waste of money. These ones came in a pack that I bought a really long time ago, and I need to use them up. So I got my first coat on the boots. I'm going to go ahead and get my first coat on the bag. First layer pretty much done. Again, inside leaving alone until that black dries. I might do some detailing on the bag with the dark brown, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the sugar cookies because I think that first coat is dry. So we're going to go ahead and do like the browning on the edges for that. I'm going to take one of my small brushes and I'm going to take that dark brown that I used for the bag. And I'm literally just gonna go around the edges. That's it. Just like that. I don't know how well you can see it. Yeah. The lighting is so fucked. But I really don't care. It's getting really dark outside, so. I'm a dingus and I accidentally started painting my sugar cookies without you guys. So after I did the dark outline, I literally just frosted them. I did the blue, red, green, and now I'm gonna do white on the last two. Literally all I did was just glop it and then laid it on there like ice cream or icing. I didn't bring it, again, I made it look like a sugar cookie. I did not bring it all the way to the edges. Just like that. The top of my coal bag is pretty much done. Now you guys know how I'm gonna do my paint job. So I'm gonna come back to you guys when everything is completed. Alrighty, you guys, so this is the final product of our ornaments. Let me show you. This is one that will be going up on my website, and you see how glossy it is? That's how all of these will look afterwards. I just need the paint to dry, and then I will be able to glaze them. I need to get the little thingy back on, but I still have to glue those two together also. This was one that I made on TikTok Live earlier. It kind of looks like one of those marshmallow twist thingies. I kind of love it. I told TikTok earlier the glaze that I use. It's a gloss glaze, it's a brush on, and it's called Triple Thick. You can get it at Michael's. You can get multiple things on Amazon. Amazon doesn't carry the bigger bottles, I don't think. But yeah, that's how this little guy gets as glossy and beautiful and gorgeous as he is. And all of the pieces will eventually look like that. I think I'm going to post a photo shoot of these on my Instagram once they're all done. Tomorrow, they will be done. So this video will be uploaded tonight. I will have them done by tomorrow. If you guys want to see the finished product with the glaze on, it will be on my Instagram or on my website, and I will link both of them in the description. But yeah, I wanted to get this video out for you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and edit. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys learned something. I hope we got your creative juices flowing. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Again, I do apologize for being absent as long as I was. I will have another video up tomorrow for you, as well as the pictures of all of the art. And actually, it should be listed, ready to be for sale. So those should be ready for you guys. I love you so much. I'm gonna go edit now before I get too tired. My back is hurting so bad.